Hello again, welcome, and I'm here with an update. So this story I had initially reported on. It was that story that had been going round where people had allegedly said that the First Lady of Nigeria had called out Meghan in particular about her dress choices whilst in Nigeria. So we do have an update here and I'm so happy to bring this to you. So let's get straight into this. So according to AFP Fact Check, they have it here, and their article says, the visit of Prince Harry and his wife Meghan to Nigeria in May elicited a flurry of media attention. It also sparked disinformation when a YouTuber suggested that a video showed Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, berating the Duchess of Sussex for dressing indecently during her trip to the West African country. But the claim, which made international headlines, is misleading. The First Lady's comments were aimed at young Nigerian women in her televised speech. The First Lady's office told AFP Fact Check that she had not criticized Meghan's dressing, in quotes. The TV station that filmed the speech and whose footage was shown in the YouTuber's post also denied that the First Lady had reprimanded Meghan. So their article here goes on to show the short clip of Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu speaking at an event. It also contained two photos. One shows Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, wearing a halter neck gown, and on the other she is seen wearing a dress with spaghetti straps, holding Prince Harry's hand as they walk together. The caption included disparaging hashtags directed at Meghan, and the post had nearly 3,000 likes and more than 350 shares. So it was shared online, and I won't name the name of the social media handle, but it does show one half of a US online duo called, I will not say their names here, who run a YouTube channel discussing pop culture and royal gossip. And their feed, which boasts more than 50,000 subscribers, featured numerous clips critical of Meghan. The news outlets around the world, including British media, picked up on that individual's post, who, as I've said before, I will not be showing them here. I will not be amplifying them. And as we know, many UK tabloids, especially The Sun, run with that story along with the headline quote, Meghan Markle is blasted by Nigeria's First Lady over her nakedness, in quotes, during faux royal visit, in quotes, to the country, end quote. So other examples have been posted online concerning that same type of rhetoric where they are accusing the First Lady of Nigeria for, blasting Meghan, lambasting Meghan, in quotes, and on and on. So this claim has surfaced as we know Prince Harry and Meghan had a very successful trip to Nigeria where they were promoting the Invictus Games, and also Nigeria has a hope to host the games in the future. And you know what, also I will interject here and say, so many people were trying to say that the First Lady in her comments had also said, why was Meghan there? Now, honestly, in the very least, even if she was not pursuing to learn more about her Nigerian ancestry and wanting to connect, we all know that they were all there to promote the Invictus Games. So in the very least, they were there for that. So of course, the First Lady's statements were taken so out of context, completely misconstrued. And I did cover this here initially when it came out. And it really did show the type of what I call is lazy type of reporting that has been going on, where people just see things on social media and amplify them when they know all it would have taken is a simple moment to watch the clip through, just basically understand what the context was of her conversation, and to understand that it was uplifting the Nigerian culture and telling them not to emulate things that do not complement the core of Nigerian culture. She was not talking about Meghan, and in fact, the only point she referenced her was to say that Meghan had such an appreciation, and I'm paraphrasing here, when she asks, why did Meghan come? Think about that, she asked the people. It's to show that Meghan valued the cultural richness of Nigeria and wanted to go and learn more about her ancestry, as she has learned that she has 43% of Nigerian heritage in her ancestry, and that's just amazing. And we all know what a fantastic trip that Harry and Meghan had. As I said, it was successful. They were well received. It was planned in connection with Prince Harry's role as founder and patron of the Invictus Games, which supports wounded, injured, and sick service personnel. both serving and veterans. And Nigeria, in particular, they joined the Invictus community in 2022 and were the first African country to do so. And it was such a hallmark visit as well, which has opened up the door. Now we know that many other countries would love to host the Sussexes and the Invictus Games. And to know that even has had tremendous impact in that they will be having a center for veterans and those who have served that will cater especially to them. That just goes so much beyond, Harry and Meghan just taking a simple trip. They were at the invitation of the country's Chief of Defense Staff, the General Christopher Musa, and they were not there representing the British royal family. It was there for the Invictus Game. So it was just amazing to see how that story that had been so twisted that Nigeria's First Lady had called out Meghan's fashion choices, and it was just, repeated on and on. It was just some type of parroting of this message. It was just going on saying that Meghan had been, criticized. And you know what? It's just sad that people who say they support veterans and those who've served were willing to go along with this with absolutely no regard to how that would impact those who are a part of the Invictus Games in Nigeria and how they would think about why they were not being covered, but they were choosing to amplify this very false story. So that just did not make sense. So anyway, so there's my thoughts on that. And the article goes on to post concerning this story here, an AFP fact check. As I said, news outlets around the world, including British media, picked up on that false story and it was ran all over the world. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, had also discussed her Nigerian heritage, referring to the West African country as my country in quotes. And she also talked about this, saying, quote, "I think being African American, part of it is not really knowing so much about your genealogy, background, and where you came from specifically," end quote. So that's what Meghan told the audience, and she said this, quote, "It was exciting to discover more and what that having Nigerian heritage really means," end quote. So a few days later, Nigeria's First Lady held an address celebrating her husband Bola Tinubu's first year in office and discussed the importance of good morals, in quotes, and cultural values, in quotes. And the claim that she criticized Meghan's choice of clothing, according to AFP fact check, is misleading. The article goes on to state, in the First Lady's speech seen in the clip shared on X and on other websites, Tinubu reprimanded young Nigerian women for dressing indecently, accusing them of mimicking, quote, film stars from America, end quote, who, quote, don't know where they are from, end quote. I did cover this more in depth. If you want to see my analysis of this, link will be appearing right here at the top and at the end screens. Kindly check that out. After you watch this, I'd love to see you on there. So it goes on to say here in AFP fact check, the First Lady then said that Meghan had visited Nigeria, quote, looking for Africa, in quotes, to understand her identity and where she came from. The First Lady did not comment on the Duchess's attire. Tinubu's office also said her comments had been taken out of context. So this is what the First Lady's office has said, quote, she, as in the First Lady, meant Meghan appreciates the people we are and hence her coming here, end quote. So this is from the First Lady's office once again in an email to AFP fact check. And the statement went on to say, quote, at no point did she say anything about Meghan's dressing, end quote. Arise News, whose clip was used in the misleading post, also rejected the claim. The footage shows Tinubu commenting that Meghan came looking for her roots, in quotes, the broadcaster told AFP fact check. And the article here caps it all off by saying Prince Harry and Meghan stepped back from being senior working royals in 2020 and live in the US with their family. So there we have it. A statement here has been released from the First Lady of Nigeria, and her press office have said that once again, she was not talking about Meghan's outfit choices. And the quote is here, quote, she meant Meghan appreciates the people we are and hence her coming here, end quote. I am so happy to see once again vindication. And doesn't this just show the amount of unwarranted hatred that we have seen towards Meghan on social media, on some news platforms, any news outlet that were serious about reporting and had journalistic standards that pursued any level of excellence at all and fact checking and context would have just looked at that clip and known no, she was not talking about Meghan. And you know what? I would like to say here that as Meghan has valued her time in Nigeria, I've got to say that the Nigerian community have reached out to her, have loved on her in such a special way. And I love how African Business put it. They said that it was Meghan's motherland, in quotes, and they said that it was a unique royal visit like no other. And they also talked about Meghan revealing that she is ethnically 43% Nigerian based on a genealogy test she had taken, which led her to have a desire to further explore her Nigerian roots. And the article says here, quote, "Indeed, as Meghan stepped off the plane hand in hand with Prince Harry, she became the first member of the British royal family with an ancestral connection to Nigeria to visit the country." And the article goes on to explore Meghan's ancestry, saying that unlike most of the British royal family, Meghan did not claim high-born ancestry. Her father is descended from Dutch, German, English, and Irish immigrants to the United States. On her mother's side, her American family were only several generations ago indentured slaves in North Carolina with, as she has now discovered, Nigerian origins. While co-hosting a Women in Leadership with Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Meghan described learning about her heritage as eye-opening in quotes and called Nigeria, as I said before, my country in quotes and my motherland in quotes, and thanked the people of Nigeria for welcoming me home, end quote. And the article says, unlike all the royal tours which have come before, Prince Harry and Meghan's visit to Nigeria was first and foremost rooted in themselves rather than an institution they represent, making it perhaps the most sincere and heartfelt of all royal tours on the continent to date, of which there have been many. The British royal family has a long and complicated relationship with the African continent, stretching back centuries, which is firmly entwined with British history of colonial rule in many African countries. And the article here goes on to just expound more on the British royal family's connections to the continent. And it also goes on to talk about the first royal tour by a member of the British royal family in 1860, and then goes on to talk about the European scramble for Africa, which grew in earnest and saw European nations colonize many African countries, some of whom would not gain independence close to the next millennium. And towards the middle of the century, many African countries began to gain independence, starting with Ghana, which gained independence from Britain in 1957. And the article here goes on to talk about Queen Elizabeth II, her first visit to Nigeria in 1956, 4 years before its independence. And the article goes on here to outline several British royal families' tours in Africa. And on this article goes. But of course, the crux of this is Prince Harry and Meghan's recent visit to the West African country, and saying that it is a completely different one in its tone and authenticity. And, they did not have any colonial style arrogance on their visit. That's how they put it in quotes. And they say from Prince Harry donning a Nigerian scarf and joining in a game of volleyball, to Meghan, who, after being presented with a bouquet of roses by a young girl, offered her one of those roses to keep as a memento. And the trip was peppered with human touches, and their itinerary was packed with promoting causes that were close to them, including mental health, women's support, sports, and the military community as well. Enthusiasm was also so effervescent. It was clear to see everyone loved them, and the royal visit was lauded in the Nigerian press as a success, with an outlet in Nigeria describing Kaduna State Governor Senator Uba Sani as, quote, delighted to receive Harry, and another one stating that, quote, Harry and Meghan's visit to Nigeria carried a lot of symbolism, which must not be lost, end quote. And they also talked about how Harry was a true reflection of Princess Diana, fondly known as the Queen of Hearts. So this trip for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex is just going to be the first of many. Harry calling them in-laws, and of course donning Nigerian agbada, and Meghan as well wearing amazing Nigerian clothing as well that was gifted to her. So this has been fantastic on so many ways, and the First Lady of Nigeria had been seeing that and said Meghan had come there to experience her cultural richness that is hers by ancestry. And remember, Princess Meghan, she is actually a Nigerian princess right now. Remember that as well. So it was not lost on the First Lady as to why Meghan came. There were so many levels to that, and Meghan wanting to know more about her ancestry, that was something she singled out and was so happy for, and telling the Nigerian children, you guys have something special here, that Meghan crossed the oceans with her husband to participate in it, to learn more about it, to have that connection with it. And of course, this is something that is so symbiotic. It's something that a lot of Africans love to see, that connection, that bridge being once again being rebuilt between people who have African ancestry in the diaspora, making the trip to Africa, getting to know their brothers and sisters on the continent, and building connections and ties with them. I think that's just amazing. So once again, so happy to bring this here to you. Share your thoughts on this in the comment section, and I do hope that as they were very loud to blast the lie, that many of these outlets will be able to just, roll back what they had said, and perhaps here they can print the truth. So I want to know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. As always, before we log off, allow me here to thank those of you who support this channel financially, and shout out a couple of you here by name. A very special thank you to you. Bernadine Robinson, thank you. God bless you and yours. I appreciate you for being such a long time supporter of this channel. Thank you for your faithful giving and kindness that has not gone unnoticed. I love you. God bless you. And a very special thank you as well to you, Nutty Doctor. Thank you for going above and beyond in your giving. So generous time and time again. I have truly seen that from you, and I'm so glad to know you. I feel so blessed to know you, and thank you for the continued support throughout the years. May God bless you. I appreciate you. Thank you to you. You go by the handle HJ said 5474. Allow me here to take this moment to express my deepest gratitude for your unwavering support. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your comments and the kindness you've shown. Thank you for being a shining example of generosity here. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you as well to you, Gail Tapscott, who once again has been a tremendous boost to me here on this channel for so many years. I truly value you. Thank you for your kindness and the encouragement that you have been to me through your giving. You mean so much to me. Thank you. God bless you. Once again, share your thoughts on all this news in the comment section below. If you like this one, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button. Also follow on Twitter or X. I'd love to see you on there as well. I love you all. Keep it here for more, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a blessed one.